Hi gardeners, welcome to the December tour. It's about 48 today. We've had a lot of wind, but we're going to show you anyway what happens when you have beautiful sunlight even in December. Here in the cold frame we have managed to survive some freezing nights. Our romaine lettuce and our spinach are really looking nice. All 10 romaines are really beginning to form the fast growth, the hearts in here, as you can see. Beautiful leaves that are about hand long here. All 10 of them are looking really nice. It's natural for the one in the middle to be a little bit smaller, not quite getting the sun or the nutrients because all of his brethren around him are hogging it. But take a look at some of these spinach and how much they've grown in a week or two. We've already harvested off this plant once and we already have fine leaves again, but its sisters and brothers around it are really catching up. We've got about 8 or 9 very nice spinach in here. This is the power of the cold frame, keeping the extremes away from the plant. All right, we're going to take a look now down the row at our, let's take a look at infamous bed number 1. Now here Brad took our green waste and piled it up and put compost and dirt over it. Now, as you can see, it's still trying to grow out again, so we'll repeat the process, but underneath we're getting a very nice decay of the green matter that was put a few weeks ago. So by spring, we think bed number 1 is going to be much richer and more loamy than the last time. Here in bed number 2, we've had some trouble. It looks like slugs are getting to the rutabagas, and it makes sense. We just haven't had enough cold weather to make the slugs go away yet. So we're down to about 7 or 8 rutabagas, and that happens. Here we can see the final effects of the ground cover we've been using. These beans are not quite right. As you can see, they're still very green. So we're going to try to dry, We're going to try to dry these off indoors to get some harvest. Just like these are now good to get our dried beans for next year from. Here's another one. They look a lot like the stalks, so you have to be very careful. But this cover here has kept the bean plants from going too bad. And I see nothing left on this one. Yep, one little. So it's time to clear this out. We'll compost this and start drying the rest of these seeds up, and these are ready to harvest right here. Okay? Now we're going to show you the garlic here. This is in bed 4. We planted 70 garlic. We have 66 that have come up. That's going to be a magnificent garlic patch. A lot more organics on this than last year. So even though it's moist, you can see it's still nice and fluffy, loamy. This is not your hard-packed clay that these beds started out with last year. This is going to be very good for the garlic. Some of them are being pushed up, as you can see here. We'll have to recover those, and we'll be mulching those probably with straw in the next week or so. Okay, now we go down to the vegetable garden. Oh, we've got a lot more beans to harvest seeds from. Let's see how this one's drying up here. So we'll just be picking pods or seeds for next year. This entire row here was done with nothing but saved seeds. So this is why you like to go with open source, with open pollinated seeds. We use an heirloom variety called Jade. You probably heard me talk about it only about 40 million times before. We have been so satisfied with the production from the Jade beans. Most of the root stays in the ground. This can be chopped up as brown matter for our compost bin. All right, looking good so far, can't complain. Here in bed number 5, we have about 40 romaine planted. As you can see, they're not quite as large as the ones in the cold frame. To be expected, the cold frame's beautiful and protected. But this is where we're going to get our production. So we have 4 threes, so you see 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, and a couple of open spots where maybe plants are stunted. So still well over 30 plants here and 10 over there, 43 something. Here you can see the spinach looks burnt. So we might just pull this up and put something else in its place, maybe something like lamb's lettuce. Here we have cut down the bok choy. The bugs are really finding it now. I've been pulling bugs off of these all day. So it's almost the end of the crop. You can see the holes that they're leaving. But we have gotten yet another harvest out of this. And I let these 2 seeded ones stand because I saw they were being pollinated a couple of weeks ago. Bumblebees were flying around them, and I wanted to see if these would go to seed. So that's an experiment for us. You can see that the Swiss chard is starting to slow down its growth. Still producing some small, tasty leaves for salad, but not in any great quantity. We're just hoping that those hold on until the spring, and then when the sun and the warmth comes back, the chard will mushroom. They'll just explode, and we'll see leaves larger than a hand. That'll be great for cooking. And now for another great success story. The black-seeded Simpson. What a magnificent piece of lettuce. I really love them on sandwiches, and they're great. I've been having salads. I've been having a salad with chicken salad with these, and they're so buttery flavorful. So that is our garden so far. Bed 6, kind of resting because it had potatoes, and then it had winter squash. It had butternut squash. We're going to be taking up those vines now that they're drying out, and that will be brown matter for our compost bin. And just to show you what the compost bin is looking like right now, you're going to see how much we still have left that will go onto our garden, and will stay over there most of the winter. The weather will break it down, so if you're going, oh, there's huge clumps here. A lot of these clumps are breaking down. As you can see, they're getting quite soft now. And that's just natural weathering. We probably have 20 or 30 cubic feet, and we can always just take a shovel to this and dice it up a little bit before we put it out. But this is beginning to make a difference. Here we've got another pile that we put horse bedding and manure in right in the middle around the grass, and that has been nice in the active zone around 100 degrees Fahrenheit up to about, say 35 to 40 degrees centigrade. This is the new bed. We haven't been putting much on it lately because we don't have much in the way of green matter, so we're going to have to go out and find coffee grounds and things like that. But also we've got plenty of brown. That's always true in the winter. A lot of brown matter, not so much green. So that's pretty much everything. We're going to have 3 more beds that we're going to do in the winter. 7, 8, and 9 will go. So we'll have a 3x3, 9 4x20 foot beds, 720 square feet of garden. And I think that's going to do really well in the spring. So just because it's winter doesn't mean you can't grow something. Remember, you can grow your own food. Bye.